Mom messaged me. Your sister regrets inviting you. Offer to finance her dream car to lift her spirits. My reply, got it. Next, I nixed the wedding venue, citing coercion as the motive. That non-refundable down payment was solely in her name. They wanted me to buy my sister a dream car just to be invited to her own wedding. But what they didn't realize was that I held the keys to their entire perfect day, and I was about to use them. My name's Caleb. I'm 33, and yeah, I'm that guy. The oldest, the one who keeps jumper cables in his trunk, receipts in neat little envelopes. I run operations for a logistics company. Basically, I'm the calm voice people call when everything's falling apart at 2 in the morning. I don't drink much. I drive a 10-year-old Civic, and I pay my credit card off every single month because, honestly, I like sleeping at night. In my family, all of that just made me the reliable one. Or, as I eventually understood it, the wallet with legs. Sunday dinner at my parents' house was always the same drill. That pot roast, somehow both dry and greasy. Dad's football game on mute, subtitles flickering. And my sister, Maya, at the head of the table, talking like she was born with a microphone in her hand. She's 27, engaged, and planning a wedding that could probably feed a small country for a month. I was at the sink, rinsing plates, half listening, half counting how many forks I'd washed just to avoid sitting in the living room, faking a laugh. Maya was scrolling, rattling off wedding details to no one and everyone. I don't like assigned seating, she declared. It makes people feel boxed in. Except for VIP tables, obviously. My mom was slicing rolls next to me, humming off-key. A little smear of lipstick on the knife. She didn't look at me. She looked past me, like she was delivering a performance to an invisible audience. Her voice, sickly sweet. Caleb, she said, your sister's having second thoughts about inviting you. I set the plate down. Very carefully, the faucet hissed, filling the sudden silence. Maya didn't even look up from her phone. It's not personal, she mumbled. And my dad, from the couch, without even turning around, just shrugged. Less plates to rent. Mom just kept going, like she was reading from a teleprompter. You should offer to pay for her dream car, to make her feel better. The words hit me, like a slap, but nobody else even flinched. A dream car? To make her feel better about inviting me to her own wedding? I just blinked at the sink. Soap bubbles clung to my knuckles. My brain completely stalled, picturing my beat-up Civic next to whatever glossy, Pinterest-perfect SUV lived in Maya's head. What? I managed to croak out. Mom's voice was light, airy, like she was asking me to bring a side salad. She's just been so stressed. The venue's expensive. The caterer's expensive. The flower wall is so expensive. You know how it is, honey. If you just stepped up and showed some support, it would smooth everything over. Maya finally looked at me. Not angry, just bored. That kind of vacant, privileged boredom you see in TV shows when a waiter takes too long. Trent's parents are paying for the rehearsal dinner, she drawled. So, it would be nice if you contributed something meaningful. Dad clicked the remote. A silent touchdown flashed across the screen. He grunted, it's family, son. You invest. A laugh caught in my throat, thin and sharp. A car. I repeated, the absurdity of it hitting me fresh. Mom nudged my shoulder, like we were sharing some secret joke. You've always been practical, Caleb. This would be so generous. And it would just stop all this tension. There it was. The script. The one I knew by heart. I cause tension. I fix tension. I pay for tension. I just keep quiet so everyone can keep pretending I'm just so mature about things. I rinsed the last plate, placed it carefully in the rack. Then I dried my hands. So slowly, as if I could postpone the fight or flight decision by just patting my fingers dry. Maya's phone lit up and her mouth curled. Oh, and if you're going to bring a date, you need to clear it with me first. The vibe is very specific. I nodded, not because I agreed, because nodding is always cheaper than arguing. Good boy, Mom cooed softly, like I was a Labrador who'd finally waited before crossing the street. I looked down at the towel in my hands. My palms had gone completely cold. I wanted to say 1,000 things. I wanted to say one thing. Instead, I folded the towel, put it back on the oven handle. I grabbed my coat and walked out of that kitchen, my heartbeat pounding in my ears. A hollow space opened up inside me, right where the part of me that still hoped for normal used to be. In the driveway, I just sat in my Civic, stared at the steering wheel. It smelled like old coffee in winter. My mother's voice echoed in my head, bright, and so reasonable. You should offer. You should show support. You should fix it. I gripped the steering wheel, hands at 10 and 2. Understood, I said. To no one. But I didn't mean it the way she did. I didn't become the family wallet overnight, you know? It was this slow, insidious creep. Always small. Always easy to justify. At 21, I picked up extra shifts when Dad's hours got cut. Just until the union sorts it out, he'd said. 8 months later, when his back pay finally hit, he bought a huge smart TV. It was on sale. Mom chirped, like that explained everything. At 23, Maya borrowed my credit card for textbooks. She dropped the class, kept the shoes. When I tried to push back, she cried. Mom said, "It's hard to be a girl right now." So I just ate the bill. Told myself I was choosing peace. At 26, I co-signed for Maya's used Jeep. She couldn't get approved for a loan. Of course she couldn't. She missed payments. I got the late notices. When I called her, she just laughed. "You're better with money," she said. Why would they even send that to me? At 28, Dad temporarily moved his phone line onto my family plan. I'm still paying it. He calls it bundling. I call it $65 a month. At 30, Mom decided we needed to restore tradition and host Thanksgiving. I bought the turkey, the folding table, 6 chairs, even 2 space heaters because their furnace was on its last leg. When I even suggested splitting costs, she patted my cheek. "You make more than us, sweetie. You know that." And then there were all the little things. Streaming passwords. Gas money slipped across the table that never came back. A rent loan that just evaporated. My coworker discount used for everyone but me. You get the picture. Every time I tried to say no, a family meeting suddenly formed. Every time I said yes, the bar just moved. Then Maya got engaged. And suddenly, Trent was in the picture. He's the kind of guy who calls waiters my guy and wears loafers without socks. Works in brand partnerships, which as far as I can tell means flattering people and receiving a lot of free stuff. His parents have lake house money. You know the type. Old photos of Trent at boarding school hanging in their hallway, looking like he was campaigning for senator at age 12. Logistics turned into 3 months of me calling vendors, scheduling site visits, reading contracts, while Maya just sent me endless reels of champagne towers to save everyone time. The venue eventually put my name down as the authorized coordinator. But, per Mom's request, the actual contract and the non-refundable deposit were all in Maya's name. "It's her special day," she'd insisted. "That $17,500 deposit? It went straight onto my credit card." With Mom's word, of course, that Trent's parents would reimburse me after they moved some things around. They didn't move anything around. The check never arrived. When I dared to ask Trent about it, he just flashed all his teeth. "My dad's finance guy is out of the country," he said, like I was the idiot. "Don't be weird about it." 2 months before the wedding, the florist called me at work. "Just confirming the final count on the peonies," she chirped. I looked at the estimate and almost swallowed my tongue. $200,000? For peonies? It's so tasteful. Maya texted when I asked. Trent's family expects a certain look. When I tried to shrink the order, Mom messaged me privately. "Don't embarrass your sister. We'll make it work. Be a team player." It wasn't just resentment that grew in me anymore. It was pure, bone-deep fatigue. My days were full of freight schedules and warehouse staffing. My nights were menu tastings I didn't even eat at. On Saturdays, when I used to play pickup basketball with friends, I was in a linen showroom, hearing about why moonstone gray was so different from platinum. Anytime I tried to draw a line, someone just casually moved it. "Can you drop by the jeweler with me?" Maya asked, Tuesday at 10 a.m. "Trent can't. He has a meeting." "But you're flexible." I wasn't flexible. Not at all. But I left work early anyway. Because arguing always costs more. One night, Dad handed me an oil change receipt. "Hey, bud," he said. "Used your car. Guy said cash was extra. You'll sort it out." Mom added, "It is your father." Like that was some kind of special coupon. There were more group chats now than actual relatives. Bridal squad. Vendor updates. VIP only. If you've never had 50 unread messages all starting with quick question, you might not understand how it just grinds you down. I muted them all, then felt guilty, like I'd just thrown a baby monitor into a lake. Through all of it, I kept telling myself, "Fine. One last time. We'll just get through the day. She'll be happy. And then this machine will finally stop asking for pieces of me." Then came the guest list explosion. Maya suddenly decided she didn't want kids at the ceremony. They ruined the vibe. She'd posted in the VIP-only chat, which, somehow, included me, but not our cousin with 2 toddlers. When word got out, guess who fielded the calls? Not Maya. It was me. Aunt Zoe called me, crying, because she couldn't afford a sitter for twins and a flight. I wish I could help, I told her, catching my own reflection in the microwave door, feeling like a complete coward. You could, Mom said later, tapping her nails on the table. Just offer to cover it. Quietly. It's not my rule, I protested. It's your family, she shot back hard. And just like that, we were circling back to the car. The dream car. Maya had been mentioning it for months. A white Range Rover Evoque, tan leather. It photographs like a cloud, she'd gushed. It would be so iconic to leave the reception in it. I honestly thought she was joking. She was not joking. When I didn't immediately leap to finance her exit cloud, Mom started a whisper campaign in the group chats. Not overtly rude, just sharp. Caleb's been so stressed lately. I don't know why he's being like this. Maybe he's jealous. Suddenly, a few relatives were sending me confusing, "You okay?" texts, like I'd just posted something alarming. I drafted long, elaborate messages explaining the money, the time, the boundaries. And then I deleted them all. Because I knew exactly what would happen. Screenshots, side conversations, a whole performance of concern. Then came the thing that finally killed the last little sliver of hope I had. The hope that this was all just bad timing, a misunderstanding, and not who they actually were. I was at my apartment one Wednesday night, eating pasta straight out of the pot. All my plates were packed for some imaginary brunch, when my phone buzzed. A calendar invite, family strategy chat. Organizer Mom. Time now. I joined. Video on. Mom and Dad were framed perfectly, like news anchors. Maya sat between them, beaming. Shiny hair. Perfect nails. Mom cut straight to it. "We've been talking," she began. "And we think it would be best if you contributed something big to show your support. Then we can put all this weirdness behind us." "Okay," I said. I just wanted to hear the script from their mouths. Maya smiled, a cold, vacant smile. "The car, Caleb. It's not complicated. Just put down 50%. We'll handle insurance and all that boring stuff later." 50% of a luxury car? I repeated, my voice flat. Dad leaned forward, his voice suddenly hard. "We've done plenty for you, son. Time to give back. Your sister's day should be perfect." I looked at their faces, frozen on my screen. And I felt it, like a tide going out. The profound, overwhelming relief that floods you when you finally stop lying to yourself. I ended the call. No speech. No lecture. Just a single, decisive click. Inside, a new voice stood up. Small, steady, no longer asking permission. Enough. The next morning, Mom sent me the message. The one that will live in my head forever because of how unbelievably normal she made it sound. It was the same one she'd said at dinner. "Your sister's having second thoughts about inviting you. You should offer to pay for her dream car to make her feel better." I stared at it for a full minute. Then I typed one word. Just one. Understood. No emoji. No punctuation. Just that one word. It meant, "I heard you. And also, watch me." I opened my email. Subject line, Ridgeview Hall, final confirmation request. The venue had sent it overnight. They were asking me, the authorized coordinator, to lock in the headcount, layout, and payment schedule by Friday, or forfeit flexibility. There was a button, Manage Reservation. When we first set this up, the sales manager created a portal account for me. Her words, not mine. "You're the only one who actually reads contracts." I clicked the button. The portal opened. There it was, Maya Carter plus Trent West. May 24th, Ballroom B, deposit received. Balance schedule pending. Below that, my name, my cell, my email, as the coordinator. On the left, a menu, floor plan, timeline, vendors, policies, cancel/reschedule. I clicked policies. I read every line. Then I read it again. Non-refundable deposit in the name of contract holder, Maya Carter. And then, the golden line. Cancellation by authorized coordinator allowed, with contract holder notified automatically. Reason required for internal records. I clicked. The portal spun. Then, it flashed in a simple, polite font, like a receptionist saying, "All set." 2 emails hit my inbox at the exact same moment. One to me, cancellation confirmation, and one to Maya. Your event has been canceled by your coordinator. I sat there for a long second, half expecting my entire apartment to just explode. Nothing. The morning kept being morning. A city bus hissed outside. A neighbor's dog barked twice, then gave up. Then my phone started lighting up. Maya, what did you do? Mom, call me now. Maya, you did not just cancel my wedding. You went too far. Dad, son, fix this. I didn't reply. Not yet. First, I opened the florist estimate from the week before and found my credit card authorization. I emailed the shop. Please remove my payment and put all charges on contract holder's card going forward. Do not contact me further. They responded with a polite, of course, and a smiley face in the signature that I irrationally hated. I pulled up the caterer. My card wasn't on file there, thank God. Trent's dad had paid one invoice, just to build trust, and then apparently considered his work on earth done. I confirmed I had zero financial ties to them, then archived the thread. Next, a short email to Lisa, the venue manager. Hi Lisa, I've canceled the event as the authorized coordinator. The reason is listed in the portal. Please direct any further communication to the contract holder, Maya Carter. I won't be involved going forward. Thanks, Caleb. 3 minutes later, she replied. Understood, Caleb. I'm sorry it came to this. As noted, the deposit remains with us per policy. In the name of Maya Carter. Wishing you the best. I let that sentence sit there, like a stone in a pond. In the name of Maya Carter. For months, they'd insisted everything be in her name. They loved the optics. The emails addressed to her. The feeling of being the sun everyone orbited. Well, now they could have it. I screenshotted 2 things, the cancellation confirmation and that policy paragraph highlighting non-refundable deposits tied to the contract holder. Then, I opened the family group chat. The Carters. It still had a photo of us from 2011, when my hair was bad and I was still trying. I typed slowly. My hands didn't shake. Morning. I've stepped down from coordinating and funding any part of Maya's wedding. I've canceled the venue, as permitted by the contract. Reason attached. Going forward, please contact the contract holder, Maya, for all details and costs. I will not be attending. I will not be contributing. I will not discuss this further. I attached the screenshots. Then I set the chat to mentions only for a couple of minutes. Silence. Then, the explosion. Mom, this is not okay. Maya, you ruined my life. Dad, grow up. And Zoe, what happened? Maya, he did this because I asked for a car like a normal person. He's always been jealous. Mom. Caleb, we raised you better than this. I typed one more message. Just one. For the record, I paid the initial deposit on my card. I requested reimbursement for months and was told to be patient. The deposit was non-refundable and placed in Maya's name by your request, Mom. I am done being your bank. Then, I put my phone face down, and I went to work. At 10:12 a.m., my boss poked his head into my office. You good, he asked. I will be, I said. He just looked at me. You look like a man who just cut off a vampire, he said, then walked away before I could even reply. My phone kept going off, like a slot machine. I didn't check every poll, but I knew the concepts were the same. Disaster, guilt, threats, bargaining. Mom, we can't get the date back. Fix it. Dad, your grandfather would be ashamed. Maya, I'll sue you. Trent, bro, you messed with the wrong family. Mom, if you wanted attention, you could have just asked for it. A few cousins chimed in with angry emojis. But then, a private text from Aunt Lisa. I'm proud of you, she wrote. I know you don't hear that enough. I exhaled. A real exhale. Sent her a heart emoji. At noon, Mom called me at work. I let it go to voicemail. Then she called the main line, and our receptionist patched her through because Mom claimed it was an emergency. Her voice was tight. I hope you've had your little tantrum, she snapped, skipping right over hello. Now put it back. That's not how it works, I said. You're going to ruin your sister's life over a misunderstanding. Her tone softened. I could practically hear her picking out the right performance. Caleb, people are going to talk. Do you want that for us? The portal says the contract holder can reschedule with a fee, I said. It's in the policy. You know we don't have the money for that, she shrieked. How could you do this to your mother? There it was again, that gravitational pull of her need. For years, it had dragged me wherever she pointed. But this time, I braced myself against it. I did this for me, I said. I should have done it sooner. She inhaled sharply, like I'd slapped her. So that's it. You're leaving your family. I'm leaving the part where you use me. You will regret this. Maybe, I said. But I slept last night. First time in months. I hung up. I looked at my reflection in the computer screen, and I didn't hate the man looking back. The rest of the day was this weird mix of ordinary and absolutely surreal. I rescheduled a delivery window for a client, approved some overtime, laughed at a meme someone slacked me, and ignored a text from Trent that read, "Don't burn bridges you'll need." I typed and deleted, "We never had a bridge," and just settled on nothing. By evening, the group chat had devolved into a small digital courtroom. Maya posted a selfie, eyes puffy. "This is what my brother did to me," she'd written, like I'd keyed her car. 10 people reacted with sad faces. Someone even wrote, "Men are the worst," which, honestly, is pretty funny coming from that crew, given how many trash men I've personally taken to the dump for this family. Dad left me a voicemail. It started with a long sigh. It ended with, "You think you're better than us because you have a job and a car that runs? You forget who changed your diapers." A year ago, that would have gutted me. Now, it just sounded like an antique. Heavy. Pointless. Mostly for display. I made dinner. Ate it at my table, without my phone. I even went for a walk around my block. Said hello to a neighbor I'd only ever waved at before. She asked if I'd cut my hair. I said yes. It felt like a test. A test of whether I still existed outside my family's narrative. I did. Around 9 p.m., my sister's fiancé finally called me himself. I answered. Curiosity, I guess, is my worst trait. "This is insane," Trent said, his voice flat, like he was reading from a script titled Reasonable Man. "You've embarrassed my family. Do you understand that? We had sent out the date to our people. Your people can read a rescheduled email." I shot back, calmly. He ignored me. "You put manipulation as the reason," he spat, quoting the portal like it was a slur. "You think you're better than us because you know words?" I clicked cancel/reschedule. A box popped up. Options, reschedule fee. Cancel. Forfeit deposit. A drop-down for reason. I scrolled through the list. Fast, then slow. Budget constraints. Change of heart. Weather risk. And then, almost like someone was winking at me from the code. Other. Please specify. I took a breath. A real breath. The first one that felt truly mine in months. And I typed. Manipulation by family. Boundary violation by contract holder. Coordinator withdrawing. I hovered over the big red button. I heard my mother's voice again. "You should offer." I saw Maya's bored face at the sink. "It's not personal." I let the silence do the work. He hates silence. He's allergic to not being admired. "We're going to move the wedding to Shoreline Club," he finally puffed up. "Bigger, better. And you're going to pay the new deposit because you caused this." "No," I said. "Just that." "No. You can't just say no to family," he insisted, twisting the word like a screw. "I can't," I said. And then I hung up. 2 days later, a new email arrived. Subject, Shoreline Club, welcome Trent plus Maya. It had this soft focus photo of a couple on a pier. And at the very bottom, BCC'd, my mother's email, my father's, and mine. I think they thought sending it to me would shame me into fixing it. But the second paragraph made me smile. Not even meaning to. As discussed, we require a non-refundable deposit of $10,000 at time of booking. Please note, deposits are tied to the contract holder and cannot be transferred or refunded under any circumstances. Attached was an invoice. Amount due, $10,000. And in bold, contract holder, Maya Carter. With a completely blank space next to paid by. I closed the email, poured myself a glass of water, and watered my plants. Because suddenly, everything ordinary felt like worship. A week passed. The family chat quieted down, like a storm moving east. I finally blocked Trent, because he started sending me these awful motivation reels with captions like, "Winners don't quit," which honestly just made my insides hurt. I kept my phone on Do Not Disturb from 10 p.m. to 7 a.m. And I discovered that sleep, without the constant buzzing, felt like turning off a generator and suddenly realizing how loud it had been all along. Aunt Lisa invited me to her porch for coffee. She's my mom's older sister, the family member who opted out of the whole thing before I even knew opting out was possible. She just listened. She didn't prod. She didn't try to find holes in my story. She told me a story about how our grandmother once gave Mom a check for emergencies, and Mom used it to buy a fur coat in June. Some people, Aunt Lisa said softly, only feel loved when someone is paying. She paused. You can love them without paying, Caleb. Does that work? I asked her, almost afraid to hope. It works for you, she said. And for now, that's enough. At work, I started saying yes to trainings I'd been putting off. I stayed late one night, not because I had to, but because I actually wanted to clean up a messy process. I came home, made myself an omelet, and for the first time in forever, I didn't feel like I'd failed someone by not delivering something I never even promised. On Saturday, I finally did it. I removed Dad from my phone plan. For so long, I told myself it would be cruel. It took 6 clicks, and a text message that just said, plan updated. He called 5 times. Then Mom called 5 times. Then Dad sent a single message. What kind of son are you? I just turned my phone over and watched the dusk unfold outside my window, like a show I'd finally paid to attend. Sunday morning, I got a text from an unknown number. It was a photo of Maya outside a dealership, hand resting on the hood of a white Range Rover Evoque. The caption read, someday, smiley face. Winking face red heart. I didn't respond. I forwarded it to myself and wrote, this is not your job. I set it as my lock screen for a week. Not as a taunt, but as a constant reminder. Every time my thumb woke the phone, I saw her face. And I remembered who I'm not. Yeah, there were consequences for them. Trent's parents were a lot less generous when the actual Shoreline Club invoice finally came due. A cousin even told me, in a side text, that my parents had to cancel a vacation because money was tight. Some of that, I'm pretty sure, was my $65 a month. Good. Let them learn what things actually cost. There were consequences for me too, though. My mother stopped sending family updates. Dad didn't text me his bad jokes. Holidays became this big question mark. A little grief still sits with me sometimes, in the quiet. Like a cat that doesn't want you to touch it. But then, something strange started happening. 2 weeks after the cancellation, I got a message from one of Maya's bridesmaids. We'd barely spoken before. Our entire relationship was me holding doors at vendor meetings. Hey, she wrote. I'm out of the bridal party. I told her I can't afford it. She said, Caleb would help. That felt gross. I think you did the right thing, the bridesmaid added. The next day, a cousin I hadn't seen in person since 2019 sent me a screenshot. It was from the VIP chat. Mom had written, we just need Caleb to calm down and come to his senses. He always does. Maya replied with a laughing emoji. Then, someone else, user R, wrote, or, we respect his boundary, and then left the group. People see, even if they pretend not to. The wedding eventually moved forward. Different venue, different vendors, a lot less peonies. I didn't hear much about it. Occasionally, a message would slip through my blocks like smoke. Can you at least show up? We can set aside our differences for one day. If you love your sister. That last one, man. That one used to work on me every single time. But not anymore. Sometimes, the most powerful thing you can say is nothing at all. And sometimes, the hardest battle you ever fight is for your own peace. Now, I understand that real freedom isn't just about what you gain. It's about what you choose to let go of. I know this is a heavy one, but I'm really curious. What do you think? Have you ever had to draw a line in the sand with family, even when it felt impossible? Or what would you have done in my situation? Let me know in the comments below. I'm listening.